All right, Harvey.
Yes.
Harvey, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
LA.
Grew up in L.A. And tell
Yeah.
me about your childhood. You had mom and dad.
Oh, yeah. Mom and dad, a couple of brothers, pretty much middle class.
How would you describe your childhood?
I was good and happy and constructive, pretty much, except when I turned about 15, 16, my dad got a brain cancer
I'm sorry.
and he died slow. It was from a service related. He taught radar in the Army Air Corps World War II to pilots and navigators. Um, so he got exposed to a lot of microwaves in it.
So you lost your father?
Yeah, he died at the VA on Wadsworth,
Hmm.
early 70s.
Where'd your life go?
Pardon?
Where'd your life go after that?
Well, things weren't easy. I was going to school. I pretty much stayed at school. I stayed out of the war.
How old are you?
I'm 72.
72.
Yeah.
You had jobs in your life?
Yeah, family trade is locksmithing. So I did that. Different types of construction.
Did you get married and have kids?
I got married and never had any kids. But,
So how did you end up living on the streets here in Santa Monica?
well, yeah, the first time I split from home when my dad got sick for a little while, a few weeks, when I was about 16. I kind of had that kind of lifestyle for a while in the 60s, hitching around and whatnot. And that, I had a tree nursery and I was married, got divorced and this and that. I did environmental studies at school. I went to Berkeley 68 through 70 after a year in Santa Barbara and then Santa Cruz.
You graduate?
Yeah.
You got a degree?
Pardon?
You got a degree?
Yeah. But I only got it like 10 years ago and I wanted to get a double degree in environmental studies and political economics. And they wouldn't give me, they gave me the environmental studies, but they wouldn't give me the political economics. I'm still thinking about going back and kicking that one loose.
Good for you.
Anyway.
So you've been living on the streets here how long?
Well, I worked on the pipeline up in Alaska and I got busted up my neck and back. And after that, I was on workers' comp for about a half a year and then I was on for 5 years. And then more recently back in 13, about 10 years ago, I headed outside again. I was inside for a couple of years, on and off and this and that.
Are you using drugs or alcohol?
I use alcohol for pain. I used to get Vicodin and Norco, but they cut me off about a year ago with all this shit with fentanyl. And I smoke pot. I hadn't smoked like 35 years since the mid 80s.
You smoke a lot of pot?
I do.
I smelled it when you got in my car.
Yeah, right.
And
That's what I need the 50 for.
it helps you with the pain?
Yeah, it helps a lot. And also to eat.
How do you support yourself?
I get Social Security. I've been doing environmental stuff for a long time. And I know a lot about solar energy. And I've been doing policy stuff. Mostly at the Air District, but at the state and whatnot. They try to get them to do solar energy to solve air pollution and use existing laws and existing technologies. Anyway.
Where do you stay at night? Where do you sleep?
Well, right now I'm over by Step Up. But when I was on the street, I'd like to stay by on the benches when they had benches, and anyway, sometimes different times, different things. But,
Yeah. What's it like living on the streets as a 72-year-old?
well, it ain't getting easier, and I think that we could do a lot better in terms of, you know, health care and stuff like that.
What do you think the solution is to the?
Well, I think public health, you know, it's a significant part of our economy, and it's a lot of money. I don't know.
Seems to be getting worse and worse every year.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be getting much better. I guess we've made some kind of progress. They say there's another, 10, 20 million people covered, and so that's good.
So your marriage ended?
Yeah.
How many years did you?
We were together about 4 years, married about 3, 2.5.
And what kind of emotions do you go through?
Emotions?
Yeah, do you get depressed or angry or anxiety?
Both, yeah. Depression, anxiety. I've had diagnoses across the board.
Like what kind of?
Psych diagnoses. Mm-hmm. And I've got different types of physical ailments besides my busted up neck and back from working. And I was on psych meds for a while, but it's been about 10 years since I've been off.
To treat what? Depression?
Depression, anxiety, schizophrenia.
Yeah. It's pretty common nowadays.
Well, I don't know. They say the numbers, my understanding is the numbers are pretty constant, 3-6% or something.
Do you enjoy anything about this lifestyle, this homeless lifestyle?
That you get appreciation for the little things. You get your try to get your quality of life where you can.
How do you maintain some quality of life?
Smiling and waving to a little kid.
It's nice.
If you're not offending the parents.
Do you have friends?
Yeah, but getting fewer and far between.
What was the best time of your life?
I don't know. Maybe back in the old days, the 60s.
60s?
70s. I don't know.
What was the worst time?
I don't know. I don't think I've seen them yet. I'm not a real Pollyanna type of thinker. I've been getting more into like the Prince, Machiavelli, Hobbes, the Call of the Wild.
Do you think things are getting worse?
How the wolves fight. Pardon?
What do you?
I think we've reached our ecological limits. I think we kind of sense it intuitively and have for a while.
Do you think we're on a downward slide?
Yeah, I think this climate stuff is very real. And I'm way off into that.
What are you afraid of? What do you worry about? Personally or as a society?
Well, all things must end. But the only thing that's constant is change. And it is what it is.
Things are certainly changing.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets in your life?
Regrets? I don't know. I don't dwell on it that much.
If you had your life to live over again, what would you have done differently?
Well, I might have taken some jobs that were offered me, different things. I was offered a job with the Environmental Protection Agency when it was just formed in 1970. They took 4 students, and I was back there with the living Christmas tree in 70 and met the head of the Ruckels House of EPA, and they offered me a job in the White House with the president's Council on Environmental Quality. I was going to represent the West. I turned them down. It was kind of a communications blunder with my ex. She was from Connecticut. She didn't know out here and stuff. And I said, hey, I got offered a job in Washington, working with the president on this environmental stuff. And she goes, Washington? She goes, we're going to go to Alaska. I'd worked in Alaska. So, let's go to Alaska. We were driving up there. We're going through Washington State. She goes, hey, this is like really pretty. Maybe you should have taken that job. I said, no. Washington, D.C., not Washington's. The White House. Such is.
How do you think living on the streets like this has changed you? You've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, well, it influences the way I look at my environment and judge people.
Are you an optimist or a pessimist?
The whole.
So you're a realist?
Well, so we hope. Anyway.
What do you think was the biggest factor in why you're in this situation today?
Well, I'm not a conventional type of person. I've always been way off into the environment and stuff. I was in the Scouts and all this. Recycling and stuff.
You still have hope for your future?
Yeah. But trying to reassess and find out what's real. And,
What are your thoughts of the future of this country?
It scares the shit out of me. This thing about, I've been outspoken. I go to the Air District. I'm an activist, and I talk stuff at the Air District and sometimes carb. But the Republicans are not a party. All these guys are sworn into office. They swore on the Constitution. Article 1, Section 8 is science. All right, the scientific method. The same section that lets us print money and have a militia. And they're not using science in evaluating our situation. Anyway, and the polarization and how they characterize it and our propensity for dichotomies.
That's what concerns me.
Yeah. And nukes. And then they said, what is the guy that was in the chair, Hawkins? He said, number one threat to humanity is nukes. Number two is climate change. And as climate gets worse, the probability of nuclear war increases. And this guy Harari's added, AI and machine learning and CRISPR and, the rate of change and whatnot.
You think we have a tendency to self-destruct as a species?
Well, I think life does. That's life. It's a natural process. That's nature.
Yeah, nature seems to.
Anyway,
yeah.
These questions.
Yeah, they're endless. What do you think is the most important thing you've learned in your life, Harvey?
To try to recuperate every once in a while. And I was a distance runner, all right? So I've kind of been like that in other ways.
Is getting old frustrating for somebody who's an athlete?
Well, yeah, but I'm still moving around a little bit. Anyway.
All right. Harvey, thank you so much for sharing your story.
All right.
I wish you the best of luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.